So, hi everyone, welcome to this week episode, and I'm so happy to have Kirsty today with me. She is the founder of Her Happy Life Academy, and to do the best justice to her, Kirsty, can you just go and introduce yourself because that's what you do.
Yes. Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me here. I am super excited. So today we will be talking a little bit about me, my story, my brand that I have created. And I won't tell you the story just yet, but because I know we're going to touch on that in a minute. But I am a business coach for mums, and specifically, but not only, independent mums. So mums that have gone through the breakdown of a relationship and they're on their own with their kids, because that is the situation that I was in or am in, although I am in a relationship now. But a couple of years ago, everything kind of fell apart for me, and that's when I launched my brand. So I work with mums who are obviously married or who are on their own with their kids. I do work with a couple of stepmoms as well, which is amazing because that's why I'm here talking to you, incredible ladies. But I help all these mums build their business online to give them the ultimate level of freedom that they want in their life, whatever that freedom means to them, because obviously it's different for everyone. So yeah, that is who I am and what I do.
That's brilliant, and I really love your story because we met on Instagram, as you do these days.
Yes.
And I really love the first thing I really love that you introduce or you express yourself that like you're independent mom. You don't call
Yes.
yourself single mom, and I love it so much because it just brings such a strength and
Yeah.
good energy. Instead of saying single mom, it just brings like, oh, poor her, or it just brings kind of more the stigma than the positivity. And actually, every single mom it's unhappy, and it
Exactly.
doesn't need to be that way. And I
Exactly.
love it. And I was like, oh, we should come with something like that for stepmoms as well.
I know, honestly, it's so empowering because I remember, like, it was my decision to leave my marriage. I wasn't happy, so I decided, right, I need to leave it. And I remember talking to one of my friends. I was actually outside the school one day when I was dropping off my eldest daughter. And my friend said to me, I feel really bad for you. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, well, I'm good. Like, don't feel bad for me. I'm really good. And then it's when I thought, the term single mum is just, it's not empowering. It's not, for me, it didn't make me feel great. It made me feel like I was being put in a box that, to be honest, didn't have the best reputation and had a huge stigma attached to it. And I thought, that's not me, because I'm now going through this massive big process. This was back in 2018 of rebuilding my life on my terms. And for me, that was empowering. So I had to have that different word because I wanted to change the narrative behind the whole single mum. Because at the time, my relationship status was single, but I felt great. So I needed that word. And that's where independent mum came from.
It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. Like when I first heard that from you, I said, "Oh, if I hope every single mom will start calling herself this way
I
because
know.
it's such a great way. It's such a positive attitude and everything and energy. So I just really love it."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So let's go back to your Her Happy Life Academy because the story behind it and how you
Yeah.
started it, it's really inspirational and yeah, it's something when we talk about or when people can read it on your Instagram or on your website, it's brilliant because I was always thinking like, I hope if someday if I unfortunately somehow come end up as an independent mom, I hope I will be able to do something similar or something
Yeah.
like that. So please tell us the story.
Okay. So this is probably the end of 2017, start of 2018, I was in a position in my marriage where I wasn't happy. And I knew, I'm going to be on my own one day. I, at the time, didn't have my own income enough to completely support. Oh, hold on, just clicked a wee button and you disappeared. There we go. Enough to completely support me and my girls on my own. And I thought, I need that stability, that security, that thing there for me. And that is when, during a really, really difficult time where I really wasn't happy, I needed an escape. And for me, that escape was building up something that I wanted to put out into the world to help other mums feel a lot better about themselves. And that is when Her Happy Life Academy was initially created. I'd actually went away for a long weekend with my mum and my girls and my mum's partner. And I was sitting late one night and I thought, I need to just figure my life out. I had a glass of wine there, I had a notepad there. I thought, I'm set, I'm going to get my life plan in place. So that is what I focused on doing that night. And everything, hold on, my dog's trying to escape, everything just completely fell into place, which was great. But the difficult thing for me is when I was launching this personal development academy, I was going through the most difficult time in my adult life. Now, I get the fact it was my decision to end my marriage, and it probably sounds quite bad, but I wasn't upset for that reason. I was terrified, and I'm talking being paralysed by fear of walking into the unknown, to not know what was ahead, not know what my life was going to be like, but I just knew it wasn't even a case of sink or swim, like I couldn't sink. Like it wasn't an option. So when I initially launched the academy,
well, obviously he has something to say.
Does. When I initially launched my academy, I thought, you know what, I can't coach these things if I'm not applying them to my own life as well. So I went all in on my personal development, and that is what got me to where I am now, because I was focusing so much on becoming the best version of myself. It made it so much easier for me to then coach other mums. So back in, where were we now? Probably about Easter time, 2019, I had just come out of a little relationship that I was in, and I felt the best that I've ever felt in my adult life. And I thought, right, I need to go all in on my business now. Like, I don't have an option. I need to go all in. And for me, that was the business coaching. So I then transitioned what I was doing to include business coaching as well. So not only was I helping independent mums with their mindset, but I was also helping them build their business online, because I had managed to do that, and to do that quite successfully, and to be able to stand on my own 2 feet and say I am completely independent, completely financially independent. I'm happy. I've got a great life, me and my kids. And for me, the only way after that was up. So I was kind of putting the two things together of mindset and business. And that's kind of where we've got to today, really.
No, it's a really great story, because a lot of people staying in a relationship which are not 100% happy, or not 100% supportive, whatever the relationship is. And a lot of people are staying in a relationship for a bit too long, or they never leave the relationship. So I admire you for actually realizing, okay, this is not for me. I need to not move on, but I need to really start my life differently.
Yeah.
And it takes guts. And as you said, it must be upsetting ending marriage, no matter what are the reasons. It's always the transition, the unknown. What about the kids? Because you have two lovely daughters. So it's a lot to think about, and plus starting the business on the top of it. And it's just, I can imagine it has to be overwhelming, because I believe there are still a lot of moms out there which are trying to set up their businesses, if it's online or not online, but they are not always taken seriously. And when a mom says, "Oh, I want to start my own business," I feel like so many people go first, "Oh, it's just gonna be another oven lady," or Avon lady, or they're not taking seriously, or they just oh, it's gonna be a little business, something, money, daddy, whatever. And from your business and personal experience, do you feel like this is still a thing that moms are not taking seriously?
Yeah, like 100%. I know we've had a chat about this before, but actually when I was again at the school playground, seems to be where all the conversations in my life happen. I was in the school playground and I was actually talking to the dad of one of my 8-year-old friends, and he said, "What are you doing today?" And I said, "I'm going home. I've got so much work to do today." And I was busy. I was really busy at the time. And he said to me, "Work? Wait, do you not just play on Facebook all day?"
No.
And I thought, wow, okay, let's not go there. And for me, like, luckily enough, like, I know him well, I know the family well. It was said in humour, he's that kind of person. But I thought, that still stung me a little bit. Like, that's not that nice. And it made me realise there's such a stigma around mums saying, yeah, I have my own business, or I'm going to start a business, because people seem to automatically, and it's a shame, such a shame that this still happens today, but people seem to automatically think you're going to play small. It's just going to be something little for a little bit of extra spending money, like something just to get you by. And for me, it wasn't that. For me, it was, I have a house to pay for, I've got 2 kids to support, kids that were doing gymnastics classes, netball classes every single week. I've got my life to support, I've got all the household bills. It's me that's solely responsible for that. Yeah. I don't have someone else here to say, I'll split the food shopping with you, or let me pay the rent this month. Like, I don't have that. And a lot of people would think, what, that's such a shame. But for me, that was such a boost to say, what, I am going all out there. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm being brave. I'm taking risks. I'm building my business because I believe in myself enough to make this a success. And yeah, there is still that stigma of, I still get it. People that think I don't have a real job. But I'm just like, you know what? Right now, like during this whole lockdown period that we're in just now, I have still been able to work every single day. My business has grown from the start of the year, grown quite a bit actually during lockdown. Fair enough, my capacity for actually working one-to-one, like, so just now I've had to bribe the kids with sweets and they're in the garden. But my business has still grown, and I have that complete flexibility and freedom, which I wouldn't have if I was in a quote unquote normal job. If I had the whole 9-to-5 mentality, and I've got nothing against that, but for me personally, I have never been employed. I've never had a boss. From a young age, I was always into, like, even during the summer holidays at school, it was, what can I do this summer to make money? And I've gone from being 5 years old and selling the contents of my mum's attic on the street to strangers, to starting my first proper business when I was 17 years old. Like, I've done it all. And for me, the whole being your own boss thing, that was just me. It's just part of my personality. It's just part of who I am. And if I can do my little bit to change that stigma of, I'm just a mum that has this little business at home, then I'll do my bit for that, because I shout from the rooftops about how incredible it is for these mums that really believe in themselves and really push themselves to do all they can in building an amazing business.
Do you think that this lockdown and the whole situation made more people realize that the business, like home business, online business, is the way to go? Or because you said that your business picked up a little bit even more, or grow a bit more. So what are your experience on that?
It's a funny thing, actually. I was having this conversation just yesterday. So if you think of all the big high street stores that we used to have a few years ago, we used to have things like, I know Virgin used to have their music stores. We used to have, like, there used to be Woolworths. There used to be all these big chains of stores. But now, just so happens that they're all online. The biggest retailer in the world right now, Amazon, has no stores. They're all online. Everything is transitioning just now to be online. And this lockdown, this entire thing that we've experienced, this roller coaster of 2020, has made so many people that I have been in contact with, so many people decide, I need my business to be online, or I need to do something online, because they've just not got the security in an offline business. So I have one friend, actually, one really good friend, who had a very, very big, well-known locally hairdressing business. She had an incredible reputation, and that was ripped from under her feet. She's a fellow independent mum. Her entire business was ripped from under her feet literally overnight. And she had no income, she had no security, she had just moved house, she had nothing there in place to basically to survive on during this time. And we had a chat, and she went into massive, massive panic mode. And she has since, over the last couple of months, it's probably only been maybe about 8 or 9 weeks, she has moved her entire business online. She is now retailing hair care products online. She's formed her own brand of hair care products. She's doing tutorials online with hair. She's giving out advice. She's doing consultations for people. She has built up this incredible online business. And she is saying now that her turnover is more and from what it was beforehand, but also she's working less and she's spending more time with her children. And for me, that's what the freedom is all about.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic, because I started my own business a few years back, 3-4 years back, when I moved here from to Cannes from London, when I met my we moved together with my husband. And one of the reasons was because he was employed maybe I think once or twice in his life, and then he always had a businesses. So for him it's like, no, you're not getting a job, you need to start a business. And so he was a great support for me, but it's just to see that he said, like, well, what we want for our future family one day. And that was the freedom, that was the thing that we can work around our time, our schedules, what we need to do to have the extra freedom and not doing the 9 to 5. Even though we kind of do 9 to 5 like at home, at home, but it's a little bit different, isn't it? And you can schedule holidays, school holidays, everything is just a bit more with a lot of flexibility. And I can understand a lot of businesses and companies realize now during the lockdown that a lot of people can work from home. Not maybe all the time, but part of the time they can work from home, or they move their offices completely to home offices. So I think that's kind of great silver lining of the lockdown, that it showed a lot of people, yes, I can start my own business, I can move my business online, or I can work from home, and I actually can tell my boss, no, I'm not coming to the office 5 days a week, I will come just 3 days a week. And so that I think is kind of good thing about the lockdown.
I'm actually hoping that there's going to be a massive shift in especially the corporate world, with bosses and employers that are expecting, especially mums, because we need that extra flexibility, whether it's our biological children or stepchildren. When there's kids around, we do need that additional flexibility. And I'm hoping further on in this year, the start of next year, that there's going to be a huge shift in that way that employers and business owners look at their employees. Because I already know the amount of friends that I have in corporate that are being told, you know what, once we come out of the back end of this as much as we can, there is going to be that change and a lot more people will be working remotely. And I mean, I think that's amazing, because people need that.
Yeah, they do. I have a lot of friends experience exactly the same thing. They work from home, and every office now is actually better. There we go. Oh,
yeah,
he's showing himself over there.
He's actually standing on the back of my sofa to be seen.
To be seen.
He is still a character.
In the background, just making sure that he made it in his 5 seconds of fame.
Oh yeah.
I love it for like this podcast because I don't usually edit it, and I love it because you have dogs or kids and something, So, and this is the real life, This is how you work, and this is what you do. Sometimes you have a dog running around. Sometimes the kids just come and ask, and it's okay. And I think, do you think moms are scared of this? That they will get interrupted on a podcast interview or something.
Yeah, 100%. I have this feeling. It's something that I know I have felt before, and I know some of my one-to-one business clients have felt before as well, that things have to be like so pristine, so perfect, so polished. And I say to them, you know what, go watch my Facebook Lives. Anything can happen. Like anything can happen. It's real, it's raw, it's unedited. If the kids come in, they say hello, they ask their questions, and then they go play. If the dog decides to come in, then that's what happens. And I think when, especially mums, take that pressure off themselves, because we put so much pressure on ourselves. Mums, stepmoms, everybody, we put so much pressure on ourselves. We don't need to put that pressure on ourselves in business as well. Take that pressure off and say, you know what, who cares if the kids come and ask? Like, I had my 4-year-old, I was doing a really important interview last year. She came over to me and she's like, can I have a tomato? And I'm like, sure, go have a tomato. And it was the little cherry tomatoes. And she kept coming through every time she had one. She's like, can I have another tomato? And I'm like, okay. And then I just kept saying like, yes, yes, yes. And then I was thinking, I'm like, I've just let her eat like 20 cherry tomatoes here. I don't know if that's good or not. But to be able to show all of that, and it's actually one of the core values of my business, is that I share the complete raw reality of everything, because I also almost want to give other mums that almost that little bit of permission to say, you know what, if it all goes wrong, that's what makes it. Who cares? No one's judging you here. You're a mum that is showing up for yourself, for your family, for your kids, for your business. Who cares what goes on in the background? It's life.
Exactly. And you never know, like my husband was tiptoeing around here, and actually I will post a picture on our Instagram after this of the setup, how I am, my setup here today. And this is absolutely just great example how when life is happening, and I don't have a kid, I'm pregnant with my first baby, but I don't even have a kid, and I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with my husband tiptoeing around, even though he knew I'm doing the interview, and we don't have a door in this room right now. I have a neighbor who has really high pitched voice, and she likes to gossip. So I can't do my interviews in the living room when I would be more comfortable, because if she decides to gossip or talk to someone, the podcast will be completely ruined. So this like, you don't even need to blame on kids or put it out, or just kids. I don't know. That's just normal life. You have to figure it out. Where is the best place to record things, or where's the best place to work for you? And it's not always easy. It takes time to figure it out. And I still are dealing with little things, and I don't even have a kid, so I don't know what's gonna happen when I have a kid. But I'm kind of preparing myself already for
definitely.
Yeah.
One tip I have on that, actually, while we're talking about that, is always know, like, so just now I'm in my office, and I always know that this is my favorite place to be when I'm working, but always have a backup. So my backup, I've got a unit in my bedroom where I can perfectly position my laptop and webcam. You don't see any mess, you just see the nice tidy side of everything. And the amount of times during lockdown where my house has just been crazy, and I thought, you know what, plan B, into my room, shut the door, get on with work. So always have your backup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do have a backup, but like when you see the picture, I will show you later. When you see the picture, like, okay, you don't have a backup, girl. But that's the beauty of running a business from home. That's something to laugh about, and just deal with it. And it's no big deal, because nobody, if you see me on a camera and it's gonna go on the YouTube, you will see like there's just white wall behind me. It's nothing, but you will see the pictures funny. And so I just ask you, like, this could be this working from home and kids and husbands and everything can be quite difficult for mom to overcome.
Yeah.
And from your personal and coaching experience, what do you think are the biggest struggles for moms, or the obstacles as well, to to go to the business and start it?
I think the main one is feeling like we have to do it all. We have to do it all and we have to get it right first time. Now, I wouldn't even like to say the amount of times that I have sat in front of my laptop, I have done some work, it's not gone the way that I've wanted, and I've been really hard on myself and I've been upset about it, until I thought, you know what? What's the point in that? Like, why am I putting all this extra pressure on myself when I just don't have to? So I realized if I just decide I would rather take imperfect action now than wait for everything to be perfect, because I'd be waiting forever. Like, perfect conditions just don't exist. You know, like if I was to say to you, like, we can't do this this podcast interview until my house is super quiet, we would literally be waiting till like September when the kids are back.
But you still have the dog.
Exactly. I would have to hire a dog walker. I would, like, there's so much, you know. But I have always said imperfect action now is much better for you, for your business, for everything, than waiting on things to be perfect. It's just a case of, rather than sitting thinking about things, saying, right, I need to have all this in place first. Like, you don't. Just take action from where you are now. You know, you're always going to grow, you're always going to get better, things are always going to improve. Nothing will happen if you spend 2 months procrastinating and then think, you know what, perfect doesn't exist. You know, just take that action now. And also to not be scared of being seen. Now, I work with a lot of mums, an awful lot of mums that are like, I'm scared to do my first post, or I'm scared to post something on social media because what will other people think of me? And it's not about that. It's about you and your business and what you believe in and what you're here to do. It's not about Sandra down the road and what she thinks of what you're doing, because her opinion is never going to pay your bills. Like, never.
That's
you know.
True. That's very true. And I was sorry for interrupting, but I really can resonate with this. I need to do it all, or I need to do it perfectly. What I really struggled with at the beginning for a long time was asking for help.
Yeah.
And even in my husband or my friend or just anything, I was just so scared, especially for my husband, because I thought I will look stupid or I will disappoint him, because he's been running and selling businesses, or why I'm here. And I always, oh dear, it took me sometimes to figure it out, something hours, instead of going and asking, like, can you help me with this, or can you explain me this? And instead of really just going and asking him, and he had the answers ready for me. And I would sit like a stubborn idiot in my office, and I would just try to crack him, try to find out a way how to do it, instead of going and asking for help or hiring someone who can help me. And I know sometimes we are running businesses on a budget, especially at the beginning, so not many people have the budget to hire people to do stuff for them. But asking for help was one of my biggest struggles at the beginning.
Yeah, it's something I am so with you with that. I've actually got a funny story about asking for help. So at that whole mentality of I can't ask for help, that's a very masculine energy, and I know we chatted about this before. So when you step more into your feminine energy, that's where you let someone else lead you. So I find that alpha male mentality, the masculine mentality, I find that very attractive. The males that have been in my life, like my dad when he was still here, my brother, my partner, are all very alpha male. So it always used to be a challenge for me, because I would naturally show up quite masculine in my energy. And my dog's going to make an appearance again. I don't even know what he thinks he's doing, to be honest with you. But there was one day, it was the start of this year, start of 2020. And where I am up in Scotland, it was snowing, super heavy snow. It was a school day, just about to do the school run. And I looked outside and I thought, it's fine. My drive's on a bit of a slope. I can manage this, totally fine. Got the kids in the car. And my drive is literally maybe like 15 meters long. And I swear I could have written my car off my driveway. Like my car was like going from side to side. Like I could not get up there. And my kids are like, phone Nana or phone Bill, my mum's partner, and get them to help. And I'm like, come on, I've got this. Like, I've got this. It's a tiny driveway. So I eventually got out of the drive. I got stuck in the street. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to manage this. And of course, at this point, my kids are like, we're going to be late for school. And I'm like, look, kids, buckle up. Mum's got this. So we got round to the school. And I got stuck on the last corner before the school car park. So I thought, you know what, abandon the car. Get out, walk the kids to school, get them inside school, and then I'll deal with the car. So I done that, and I got back to the car. I sat in the car, and I sat in that car for an hour trying to get, I was literally on the shady side of the street. So all the other side of the street, the snow had all melted because the sun was out. There was like a car-sized shape of massive, massive thick ice. That's what my car was sitting on. All the other cars were moving. I was so stuck. And I sat there for an hour and I thought, I am going to make this car move. I am not asking for help. Now, about 20 houses down the street was my mum's house. And I was thinking, should I just give in and phone them? So eventually, after an hour, I phoned. My mum's partner came round, took him about 4 seconds to dig out my car, and that was it. I was home before I knew it. And I thought, why did I take so long before I asked for help? Because I've wasted so much time. I've wasted so much energy. I'm now frustrated at myself. I'm now putting more pressure on myself because I've got less time to do what I wanted to do. My kids probably weren't very impressed when I threw them off at school because I dragged them up the hill in the snow. I thought, you know what, I could have just asked for help. You know, that would serve me and my kids and my energy so much better. And the whole asking for help mentality, like I was saying to you, is very, very masculine. I lived my life up until probably about the middle of 2019 in a very masculine mindset, a very structured mindset, here's my to-do list, it's all getting done, these are my deadlines, these are my goals, this is the 5 million things I'm doing all at once, I need to go, go, go. And it was actually my partner that said to me, he's like, you don't know how to fail. And I said to him, well, it's not an option. It's not an option. It just doesn't happen. And he's like, you know what? It's okay if you do. It's okay if things don't go right one day. And I thought, you know what? I need to take a little bit of a step backwards and I need to step into my feminine energy a little bit more and let these incredible males in my life guide me, as well as the incredible females, but let them guide me a little bit more rather than me feeling like I can do it all on my own. And let me tell you, like, the resistance I had to that was massive, like massive. And it's something that didn't come easy to me. And even now, it's still very, very easy for me to go into that masculine energy because that's just where I naturally am. But I've realized I actually get much better results in my business when I step into my feminine energy. And I just say, you know what, I'll deliver what I need to deliver. I'll let go of the outcome and I'll believe in myself and my abilities enough to know that I will bring in the clients that I want to bring in. To take off the pressure, to take off the restrictions, the deadlines, all of that. I still follow a structure. I still am disciplined within my business, but not to the stage where it's life or death. You know, it's just everything's much more in flow. And I mean, again, this is a whole other conversation for another time, but when it comes to money, money is a very fluid thing. You know, that's not going to come to someone who's so rigid and so structured. But when you're more in flow, you're opening those channels for money to come into your life. And that's one thing that massively changed my business last year.
That's very, I really resonate with all the masculine energy and being in some sort of mindset, really strict one, because my husband before he runs so many businesses, and he's really just his ideas about new businesses are coming so naturally, and it really impacted our relationship. And I was start looking back, I was at some point I felt like we are trying to more, it's like competition, because I was trying to be masculine as much as he was, or I was in, like what you described before, you were in the masculine energy, you don't ask for help, and it had an impact on our relationship in the past, when I and even everywhere, because as a relationship coach, it was really, I could see our intimate life, everything was just, I was trying to dominate him, or I was trying to win, so everything is just everywhere, our communication, intimate life, everything was just competition, or kind of way that there was no good balance. And quite recently, and we talked about it earlier, my husband, because I don't know if that was because my pregnancy, I was a little more sensitive about it, but every morning he asked me, what are you up to today? What is your plan? And then at the dinner, he asked me, what have you done today? What have you managed to do? And it made me feel really small, because if I said, well, I was tired, or I was sick, so I didn't do as much as I could. Now, not just because of the pregnancy, because of other things, like, life went a little bit differently today, so I didn't do my to-do list. And I started feeling really small next to him, and it wasn't his intentions, it wasn't his purpose to make me feel small, but it was just how I felt. And we had a chat, and I said, you need to change the conversations, you need to change the way you talk to me about this. I know you don't mean it, I know you're not being patronizing or anything like that, but it just doesn't work for me. I need you to change it. And we did it. We don't talk about business at the dinner, or in the evenings when we want to talk about the business. We kind of ask permission in a way. Can we talk about the business? And is my right to say no? It's like, I don't want to talk about the business anymore today, tomorrow. So we had to put this in a place, because not that and I know a lot of stepmoms stepmoms or moms in the business will try to make the money, as much money, because if they will not match the husband's money, they will think that they are failing, or if they don't ask for help, they're failing, and it will impact your whole relationship with the kids, with yourself, with the partner, and it's really tough one to get into, let it go. It's really tough one to let it go.
It's really interesting that you say that, because I know before, with my girl's dad, when I was in my marriage, it was very much every day I would feel like I had to justify, this is the work that I've done. Like, today I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. But that was me looking for that validation that I'd done a good job. Whereas now that like my whole life is so different, it's like a complete rebirth the last couple of years. It's absolutely incredible. But now with my partner, I say to him, rather than today I've done X, Y, and Z, and I've done this and I've done that, I step right into my feminine. I give myself that validation, and I say to him, do you know something that went really, really well for me today? And then I talk about the one thing or two things or however many that I want to share, but I just say to him, do you know something that went really well for me today? Say what it is, and something like, you know what, I'm so proud of myself. And that's me giving myself that validation. I don't need him to give me a pat on the back. He'll usually say like, awesome job, like you've done a great job or whatever. But I don't do it because I need that. I do it because I'm wanting to share something. He's very good at communication on a deep level, but sometimes it's just like he just doesn't want to talk. And I'm a very, very talkative, like communication is everything for me. And like I use my voice for everything with my business. So we have had to work at that. And that is something that we've had a lot of conversations about. And I've had to step into my feminine and say, this is how it's making me feel. or I've had to lead the conversation. But when you do things like that with a masculine energy versus a masculine energy, it's just not going to work, you know. And a lot of the conversations were uncomfortable for me because I had to step into that feminine. But I realized by me doing that, I'm managing to have the conversations that I wanted to have a lot easier, rather than feeling like I need to justify everything like I used to do in the past.
Yeah, that's very true, because that's exactly how I felt, that if I don't, fill up the plan or achieve something, he will look at me that I haven't done it, or I'm not doing a great job, or I'm being lazy, or whatever is there, or whatever was there for me. And this is something what, again, it just makes you feel like giving up. And I'm sure that a lot of moms have to deal with it, because they're not just juggling the business, but most of the time they have the kids. And if they were stay-at-home moms before, and suddenly they are adding the business, how do you think that mixing everything and not giving up, what do you think, like what tips would you give to moms?
Okay, so a few really good tips here. The first one is to always know what I call your North Star goal. Always know that big goal that is right there that you're aiming for. That one goal that you can look up and you say, you know what, when I get there, I can say that I've achieved everything that I want to achieve. Like, always hold that vision of where you want to be, what you want to be doing. Always have that North Star goal. Because if you don't have something that you're aiming for, you're going to go round in circles. You're not going to be moving forward. So I always say, always know what your North Star goal is. Another thing is to touch your business every single day. So move that needle in your business every single day. Doesn't have to be something big like a podcast interview or a Facebook Live or something like that. It could be you reach out to someone that you know and you ask them a question. You post on social media, you send a message out to your mailing list, you reach out to a new customer or a new client. Always do something every single day, because when you build that discipline, and it's all about building consistency, when you do these little things every single day, at one point you're going to sit down and say, you know what, I've got a few things I can do today. Let's give myself an hour and I'll do them. Or let's take a morning and I'll get this work done. And before you know it, you're starting to structure your days around your business. And another thing I would say is consistency is key. There's no point in going for a workout. Say you go for a run on a Monday, and then you think, you know what, I'll go tomorrow, but I'll take the rest of the week off. And then it gets the following Monday and you say, you know what, I'll go for a run today, and then I'll maybe do a run on Wednesday, and then I'll take 3 days off. You're not going to get the results that you want to get with a schedule like that, because you're inconsistent. Whereas if you said to yourself, you know what, I'll go for a run for 15 minutes every single day, you're going to get the results that you want to get, because it's the consistency. And oh gosh, there's a million things I could share with you. Let me just not overload you with information. The final actual tip that's super, super important for mums and stepmoms and everybody that has so much going on in life. If your business, and I want everyone that's listening to ask themselves this, if your business is that important to you, why are you doing all the things first? Why are you washing the dishes first? Why are you putting on the laundry? Why are you making the beds? Why are you tidying the house, walking the dog? And then the rest of the energy that you've got left over, you dedicate to your business. If your business was that important to you, it would be the top of your priority list every single day. Do some work on my business. Put that to one side for just now. I'll tidy up the house, take the dog out, stick a washing on, feed the kids, whatever. And then say, you know what? I'm going to go back to my business now. If your business is that important to you, make it your priority. Your business is more important than your kitchen being clean. Every single morning for the whole of lockdown, which I think we're at 11 weeks or 12 weeks or something now, I've lost count. It just feels like one crazy big day with a few naps in between. It's crazy. Every single day I've said, you know what, I don't have to do the school run. I've got my partner's son staying with us. My partner and his little boy moved to my town a week before lockdown, so their house is all still in boxes. So they said, right, we'll come stay with you. So we were kind of thrown into that situation, had never stayed together before, and all of a sudden it was the two of us and 3 kids, 24/7 in a house, global pandemic. And I thought, you know what, I could fall to pieces here, or I could look at this and think what an incredible opportunity for us to have this snapshot of what it's like to all be together. And it's been incredible for us. But every single day, because I've not had to do the school run, I've said, you know what, I'm going to use that time and I'm going to prioritize my business first. So I'll do an hour in the morning, usually from 6 till 7. Well, my partner gets up early for work, so I say, right, I'll get up, I'll work, albeit from my bed, but working. And then I'll get up, I'll do some stuff, I'll give the kids breakfast, I'll tidy up. When it would usually be school run time, I'm back working. You know, that's me got a good 2-3 hours work done, and it's not even the middle of the morning yet. And after that, we can do homeschooling, we can go out for a walk, we can play games, we can do whatever, because the pressure's not there. You know, I've said, if I don't do a load of laundry today, the house isn't going to collapse. Like, it's fine. You know, if I don't clean my bathroom today, it'll still be there tomorrow. You know, don't put that extra pressure on yourself when you just don't have to. You know, we're very, very guilty as mums of giving ourselves pressure and deadlines for no reason at all. Like, no reason. So just don't do it. Just decide, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore.
It's very true. And I'm so guilty of still having problem to prioritize, because sometimes like, oh, and laundry, because I need to do it now, because this is this. And I really find it really, really hard at the beginning, because I never worked from home. And suddenly, you know, I'm here and I can do all these things around the house. But then I realized, okay, it's not about prioritizing, it's about avoiding. It's about avoiding the study, it's about avoiding the starting the business. It was really, it's easier to do all the housework than actually do the business. So that's not a thing that I had to be really careful, and I still have to be careful that sometimes I know, yeah, I can do the laundry first thing in the morning, and it's fine, but it's not excuse, or it's not the way I'm avoiding my business or whatever I need to do that day, which is actually way more important than laundry. That's absolutely true. And there's a lot of things like that my husband was actually really good at you know, but he has the structure, he has the daily routine, and he doesn't care about the laundry. You know? and we are quite good in terms of splitting the responsibilities of housework. So we good. It's not like I'm the one who has to do it, but sometimes I choose to do it. And it's interesting to see that how he is in the masculine, and he's in the business, and he's just doing it. And for me, it's really slippery road. What is actually important and when I'm avoiding things.
Yeah, there's a really good way to get around that is to set yourself an hour. I call it a power hour with my clients. We set an hour of income producing activities. That's what they prioritize in their day every single day. So even if you just do that 1 power hour of your income producing activities, so this isn't things like writing a list or checking emails, this is things like reaching out to people, making connections, posting on social media valuable content. If you do these income producing activities during your power hour, first thing every single day, even if you're scheduling posts to come up on social media in the afternoon or whenever your social channels are most active, even if you don't do anything else in your business that day, you've still had a really, really valuable hour of your business that day, you know? And one thing that I've massively noticed when I decided to completely prioritize my business, I actually said to my partner, like, he is very, very good at splitting chores and all this sort of thing. But when I've had some really important stuff to do, I've said to him, you know, I need to go and do this for work. Could I ask you to wash up the dishes? Or could I ask you to walk the dog for me? And it's just little things like that. Like it's not in a demanding masculine, like I've got so much to do, like so much pressure and deadlines. It's just a case of you saying, you know what, this is my priority right now. Walking the dog's not my priority, but you'd be really, really helping me if you shared this with me. You know, you take the dog out, I'll do some work, and maybe afterwards we'll do something together. You know, it's just all about that prioritizing and making sure that you're not putting all that extra pressure on of thinking, once I've done this work, I have to walk the dog, I have to do the laundry. You know, like if your husband's there or your partner's there, just say to them, you know, I've got this to do, could you just stick this on for me?
Yeah.
You know, and also to watch your language with that as well, to not say like, could you please do this for me? It's just a case of, you know what, do you want to do it? You know, it would be a really big help for me if you just stuck some laundry on, rather than it's usually my job, but I'm super busy, so can you do it? You know, because a lot of people, there'd be quite a bit of miscommunication with that.
Yeah, that's a thing that we work on, and you know, at the beginning, obviously, like every relationship, when you move in together, there's always figuring out how to talk to each other,
Yeah.
and how to ask for favor, and that's very one. Actually, when he said that you need to be consistent with your business and taking little actions and everything, one thing is just what completely threw me out a few months back, and I didn't expecting it, because when we were trying for the baby, I always thought, well, I need to plan my business when I will be giving birth, or when the baby is due. Then before, I will obviously need to do a lot of work or a lot of scheduling, and so I can take the time off. However, I didn't expect that I would be completely out of my energy and spending a month in the bed in my first trimester when my morning sickness arrived. And that was something that I completely disappeared from the social media. Completely, I did a few posts, but I just had no energy. And there are things like that in the life when we think, oh, I don't need it now, I don't need a structure, or I don't need a backup plan now. I will need it 7 months later. And then no, actually you need a 2 backup plans. You need for now and 1 for later. So there is, would you say that a lot of moms or businesswomen, they don't think ahead enough, or they think that there's still a lot of things to figure it out, and a lot of plan Bs or backup plans to have?
I think for me personally, I have always said I'm so passionate about what I'm here, like what I feel that I'm here to do. There isn't a plan B for me, because if I was so focused on plan B as well as plan A, like I wouldn't be able to do any of them to the standard and to make the impact that I want to make. But I have always said that to go all in on what it is that you want to do, just to go all in and to be so transparent to a level that you're happy with your audience, so they can also follow that journey with you. So if you think of your audience just now, Veronica, it's a huge audience. I guess it's predominantly female, and a lot of mums, either with their own biological children or with stepchildren, like a lot of mums in your audience, they will take a massive interest in your pregnancy journey. So you sharing that little bit with them to say, you know what, I felt rubbish today. Baby's doing well, everything's great. I've had some wacky cravings. I'm in my bed. I'm absolutely exhausted. Have any of you felt like this as well? I can guarantee you there'll be a huge influx of mums jumping into your DMs on Instagram saying, yeah, I remember those days. I remember going through the breakdown of my marriage, going through a really rough time that I gave myself after that, because I had massive mum guilt. I was looking at my girls thinking, I have just shattered your world because I wasn't happy. When in reality they weren't happy either, because their mum wasn't happy. But I didn't see that at the time. And I just remember looking at them and thinking, I need to make everything work. Like, I need to make my business a success for you. And that's, again, that masculine mentality. And I didn't share with my audience what I was going through, because I thought I can't let them see weakness. I can't let them see me not happy. So I was getting up every day and trying to show up to the best of my ability, but I wasn't connecting with my audience. You know, there was that complete disconnect and I couldn't figure it out until I thought, you know what, I'm just going to tell them what's going on. And the second I'd done that, that communication was there again. You know, I felt we were all on the same page again. I started to get a lot more support in my business. I started to build some great connections, and some incredible opportunities opened up for me because of that. So I always say to everyone that I work with, you know, be as transparent and as visible as you're comfortable being to your audience, because that's keeping that communication there. You know, they don't just follow you and interact with you online because they love your business. Like, especially with businesses that are based on social media, you have built this brand, but your customers and your clients want to know who's behind the brand. You know, they're following you because of you. So don't just share what you do, share who you are as well, and what your life is like and what you're going through, because that's how you build up that relationship.
And that's very true, because that one of the many reasons, especially with the online businesses, is there's a lot of comparing or a lot of scarcity to show up. When you said that earlier in this episode, that you're scared to, because everyone else does it. You know, there's so many relationship coaches, there's so many stepmoms out there who are doing the same thing I do. There are, you know, for you, business coaches out there, so many of them. So there's a lot of things that you go to a business and like, okay, but why me? You know, how come that I can make it special? Or, you know, there's so many doing the same thing. So what would you just tell, like kind of like the final tip for the moms who are scared of this?
I would always say, even if someone does exactly what it is that you're doing, they're not you. They're not going to deliver information and content the way that you're going to deliver. They're not going to have the same goals and dreams and mission in their business as what you are. They're not going to communicate with their clients and customers the way that you will. They've not had the same life experiences as you. Like, I know there's probably some place on the internet, not found any yet, but to be honest, I've not really looked that deep, but there's probably other mums that are on their own with their kids, that are coaching mums in business and are really passionate about shining that light on mums that are on their own with their business as well. There's probably somebody else out there. But to be quite frank, I don't care, because they're not going to do what I do. They're not going to coach what I coach. We might coach similar things. We might have some similar life experiences, but I'm me and they're them. So as long as I show up authentically myself and don't get stuck with all this imposter syndrome and trying to be other people because it's trendy or it's cool, as long as I show up authentically as myself, there's no competition, because nobody can do things the way that I can do things. And that's not to say that I'm any better than anyone. That's to say that every single person has their own, like the old school term in business, very corporate, but your USP, your unique selling point. It's not even just that, it's every single one of us is completely unique. And because we're unique, our businesses are unique as well. You know, that would be like saying there's somebody in this world that looks exactly like me, that's got exactly the same DNA, same fingerprints, same house, same kids. Like, it's impossible. You know, so it doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me to think there's other people that are coaching the same as what I'm coaching, because I'm over here focusing on my lane and they're over there focusing on theirs. There's enough people to go around for everyone. You just need to want things bad enough, be disciplined enough to take action in your business every single day and to prioritize your business, and to show up, you know, to show up, to say, I'm here, this is what I'm doing, and to have that undeniable self-belief. Because, I mean, if I can do it with all the stuff I've been through in my life, everybody can do it. You know, everybody can do what it is that they want to do, as long as they believe in themselves enough.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, because I was just thinking about, do you have any final wisdom or tips
There we go.
to wrap up this episode? Because I'm sure we will do more in the future. But yeah, I think like you completely nicely just wrap it up. But is there, just in case, is there anything else you want to tell moms who are about to start a business, or who are running businesses but want to grow the businesses? Is there anything else you would like to tell them?
The main thing, there's like, I could talk to you for a million hours on this, but the main thing that I want to say is to stop waiting, to stop saying, you know what, it's now, the current time is now 3:05, I'm done for today. I'll do something tomorrow, but tomorrow it's Saturday, maybe I'll do it on a Sunday. Who does anything on a Sunday? Let's do it. Monday's good. Start of a week. Let's do it on Monday. Why wait? Like, why wait? 2020 should be enough of a year of impact to show us we shouldn't wait to take action. You know, take action now, small if you want, but take action now, imperfect action. Just get up and move. You know, do that first thing, because once you've done the first thing, the second thing's a lot easier. The third thing is even easier. But it's that whole, I need to start. It's that thing that so many of us, and especially mums, because we've got that built-in thing of it has to be perfect. Just let that go. Like, that's not going to serve you, because mum life is not all sunshine and roses. You know, it's not all straightforward. Anything can happen. So take that action today, even if it is after listening to this podcast, to sit down for 5 minutes and to scribble down some ideas for a business or some things you want to do in your business. That's still action. Rather than saying, you know what, I'll enjoy this weekend, I'll think about it while I'm doing whatever this weekend, and I'll maybe get around to it on Monday. That day's not going to come. You're not going to do that on Monday. You know, stop putting things off and just take action just now.
Brilliant. That's beautiful. It's so very, very true as well. So Kirsty, where we can find you, or where everyone can find you, and do you have anything special right now you offering, or what's going on in your business?
Yes. So the best way to connect with me is on Facebook and Instagram at Kirsty Kayn. So it's Kirsty and then Kayn. You will then be able to find me on social media. And the main thing that's going on in my business world right now is the doors were open, although I've kept them open a little bit longer, but I've not told anyone. So you still actually are able to come into my membership, which is Her Happy Life Academy. So the academy is for me to coach mums in business that are building their business online, how to make more money and have more freedom in their life. Because at the end of the day, money and freedom are two things that a lot of us want. And a lot of us, especially mums, are too scared to admit they want more freedom and they want more money. You know, inside the membership, we have these conversations that some people are too scared to have. I'm not one of those people. Like, I'll have conversations about money. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. You know, I've got a lot of experience at both ends of the scale, money-wise. So within the membership, I coach everybody around about what I call my 3 pillars of success, which are business, mindset, and manifestation. So there's, I think at the moment, 21 modules of content around these 3 areas. So ladies can come into the membership, they can work on their mindset, they can have some fun with the law of attraction and manifestation, which is a whole conversation for us to have. I have got some juicy details on that. And also they can learn all this stuff about building a successful business online that is going to support them in their life, making more money and having more freedom. So that is my membership. It's my main focus in my business. It is where I have the most contact with my clients. We do live training every week if people want to join in that. We do posts in our exclusive members lounge every week. We've got guest experts. It really is just the most incredible hangout for mums in business. There's so much going on, and I pour everything that I've got into there. It's like my other child. I just absolutely love it. So to get information on that, you want to visit herhappylifeacademy.com, and it's all on there. So super straightforward.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And I'm sure we will do it, as we said, even when we start talking to each other, like, oh, we will do a few episodes, because this is not just a one episode podcast. So definitely we will have you back here. And thank you very much for your time and for being here, for sharing all the tips, because there are so many tips for not just the moms in the business, but for everyone who is in the business or in a relationship with a business partner, or so it's a lot of wisdom and tips and tools in this episode. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to have you back one day soon.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. Honestly, I have loved this. And I know I talk a lot, but I've just got so much to share. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it.
No, that's perfectly okay. I was just checking time, because we should keep it in certain time, because there will be otherwise 5-hour episode.
We can do a special.
There we go. We do special. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.